Toxic masculinity.
Okay. Piers Morgan fired for refusing to #believe her.
Piers Morgan has been fired for refusing to believe her. I love this story. Okay, so this is actually a continuation of a story that we did yesterday. Oh shoot, sorry guys. More lack of professionalism right here. There we are. It's a continuation of a story that we did yesterday about the Meghan Markle interview. And in fact, I reposted a video. I was going to post a new video last night, but instead I posted this Meghan Markle video that I did months ago. And I was hoping that it would get a nice bump because of she's in the news right now, you know, just capitalize on people's particular interests right now. I'm getting a lot of good comments, but YouTube has started to restrict my channel to only subscribers. So unless you subscribe to Mr. Reagan, you actually will never see a Mr. Reagan video pop up as a recommendation. They won't show them to you unless you're subscribed to my channel, which is really quite shocking, actually. I occasionally will get a video that goes over like 92% subscribers. So it'll show you how many people subscribe to your channel, watched your video, and how many people that are unsubscribed to your channel have watched your video. And on all the videos recently, it's like 92% subscribed, which means that nobody's that's unsubscribed is seeing it. Because how many channels do you watch regularly that you'd never subscribe to? I mean, I would say most of them for me. I rarely subscribe to channels. I just watch them consistently. Then they're suggested to me, and every once in a while I'm like, hey, I haven't seen that show in a while, and I have to go look it up. But with me, if you're not subscribed, you are not getting thumbnails from my show. That's how that goes. Anyway, so thank you, YouTube, for effing me. That's amazing. All right, so let's get on with the story. Enough whinging. I don't want to be too much like Meghan Markle here. All right, so Meghan Markle, obviously, she did this interview on Oprah where she was like, poor little rich girl. She's like, oh, I'm so rich. I'm so rich. It's terrible. I hate being rich, and I'm a princess, and my life is so terrible. And it was just ridiculous. I mean, I think if you kind of had a kind of issue with Meghan Markle before she did this interview, you really hated her after this interview. People, look, let's move to our Meghan Markle correspondent here. Oops, what am I doing? Valeria, why don't you tell us what the people are saying on the internet about Meghan Markle currently after this interview? What's the reaction?
Well, I'm watching two Russian-speaking bloggers that talk about Meghan for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And she's completely destroyed there.
They're destroying her on the show. You mean they're saying a lot of horrible things about her?
Not horrible. The truth,
right.
How it was actual, and what she said, like how much victim she.
Yeah. Because there's some people really follow this royal stuff very closely, and they can tell.
I
right.
Always did.
That's why you're the correspondent.
I was
here.
always interested.
But the point is, the people who follow it very closely, they know what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and a lot of people love her. A lot of people hate her. Well, I did not like her from the beginning because I suspect she's going to be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Even like her cousin said, if you're going to let her in the family, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
That happened to be a disaster, so.
So they predicted disaster, or they are predicting disaster in the future.
Her relative said that she's going to be a disaster for you.
Right. So she predicted that ages ago, and now
She was bless you. She was complicated person even before she got in the royal family.
Right.
She was complicated back then.
So this
Can you
relative
imagine,
predicted, and now it's come true.
Can you imagine now? Because the relative know her from since she was a child.
Right.
She was in Hollywood.
Right.
Like.
This isn't like a huge surprise for people who follow this stuff closely.
Yeah, it's not.
No, but it is a big surprise, or somewhat of a surprise, for those of us who don't care. And one thing that, but one person that it wasn't a surprise for how horrible she's been is Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan has a bit of a history with her. I think she's interviewed with him before or something, and she was a bit difficult.
I think Piers Morgan, I watched what he said.
Yeah.
In terms of, I watched some clips that my Russian YouTuber put on her show when she was explaining what he said, what was the problem, even before this interview, like way back, because
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
on the news a lot,
Yeah.
especially criticized by British press.
Yeah.
And I think even though I don't really like her, I'm not on her side, which probably gonna put me in big trouble in the future. Well, that's what I think, and I think that he wasn't always fair to her. He was too harsh, like too harsh.
Right.
You can't say the truth, but how he presented it,
Well, that's kind of who he is. He's kind of like a bit of a
I find
jerk.
it disturbing, even though it's hilarious. But I think it's too much.
He is funny,
little
but
bit
he
too
is also
much.
a bit of a jerk. It's true. But okay, but this is bizarre. This is bizarre because he's been fired, and I mean, I don't even understand how this could possibly be justified in any kind of a way. Now, he's quit. Actually, he's resigned.
quit.
But you know he was fired. You know they said you resign or we fire you. You know that's what happened. So he's been fired for asking the question. Oh no, not asking a question. For saying that he doesn't actually believe her when she was speaking in her interview. He said that specifically. He said, let's see here. I wouldn't believe her if she read me a weather report, he said. And the real concerning things to people is that he was talking about how she complained that she was suicidal. Right.
That was a total lie.
Right. But see, so you're saying that
Suicidal?
too. You're saying that too. You're saying that was a total lie as well.
How can you think about suicide? What was Cardi B clip? What was the reason?
I wish we had it. I could just
Yeah.
yeah, she's either such a delicate person that she should probably not be famous.
She's not
right?
delicate. She's pretending to be delicate.
That's
And
the
she
other
has-
option,
She
right?
has rights to say it because she is.
Or she recognizes that being a victim has benefits in our society, and she's faking it to reap those benefits.
She's
And
a good,
I don't
she,
think it's
she is a good actress.
right.
She is a good actress.
Yeah. Valeria, look into the camera like this and be like, my life is terrible. You don't actually have to do it. You know, I tweeted about this because I realized that all she had to do, if she wanted to win people over and make people love her, conservatives and leftists alike, all she had to do is go on that Oprah show and be like, you know what, Oprah? I've complained a lot over the years about this little detail and that little detail, and maybe people didn't treat me quite right here or there. I didn't feel, but I'm gonna be honest with you, my life is awesome. I'm freaking rich. I married one of the princes of Great Britain. You know, I have some beautiful kids. You know, I live in a mansion. Life is good. I have nothing to complain about.
I mean, you can complain about lack of stuff that you want to do, like in movies and being in movies. Yeah,
No, she can't complain. She doesn't have a right to complain.
No, you have a right.
No, she doesn't. She flies private. She flies on private jets. Anyone who flies on private jets, no right to complain about anything in your life. And if she would have said something snarky like, you hate me because you ain't me, or something like this, I think that she would have won people over. You know, a little bit of a sense of humor, a little bit of self-deprecation, a little bit of, you know, of a recognition of her. So this is what people always say about like white people in America. You need to recognize your privilege, right? And it's mostly white people saying that, actually. but a lot of white people aren't actually that privileged. Aren't privileged really much at all, at least relative to other people in America. But Meghan Markle, good God, I would say she may be the single most privileged person on earth. On earth. I mean, you might say Oprah is, but Oprah's old, overweight, not an attractive woman. Meghan Markle's a beautiful woman. She's got everything going for her. She's like golden. She's not allowed to complain.
I think she's greedy for the fame. She
Huh?
wants to be more famous.
Right.
because she said on the interview, I left everything. I left Hollywood. I left my career.
Yeah.
I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of people knew who Meghan
Well, in
Markle.
life, we all make decisions, right? We all make decisions about career or family. Everybody makes those decisions. Where do you want to live?
You can't compare career and family. You had a different career in Buckingham Palace. If you want to do Hollywood movies, okay, do it now. But why would you put so much negative stuff on your
Right. Just make the
husband's
decision
family?
just make the decision. Say you're sorry.
In the end of the day, you're gonna lose this war.
At the end of the day, she should apologize for causing turmoil in the royal family.
She won't apologize. I just hope the palace will do investigation. Like, palace was silent for the whole time until she started doing this
Yeah.
rumors, interview, like exposure and stuff. Exposure.
Honestly, it's such a stupid story. It's ridiculous that we spend so much time on it, but it's something you know, and I like hearing you talk, so it's fun. But can you imagine? Piers Morgan has had an amazing career. I mean, I don't really like him, but he's done some amazing things in his life. I agree with him on some things. I don't agree with him on others. I mean, whatever. He's all right. But at the end of the day, he said some crazy stuff. Like, he said some really stuff that I think leftists would find very offensive. And he ends up getting fired over saying that he doesn't believe Meghan Markle was actually suicidal. That's why he gets fired. I mean, that's insane to me. That's like, to me, this is like mind-boggling. It's like you're not allowed to not believe Meghan Markle. Everything Meghan Markle says is true, and if you don't believe her, you're not allowed to have a job. That to me is completely insane. I don't know. No comment?
So I just think that Buckingham Palace was silent for the whole time. And recently they actually start investigation on how many people left while Meghan Markle...
Did I interrupt you and you're trying to finish your thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Meghan Markle was in charge of the assistants, like sending a helicopter pilot to get her pizza and stuff like this, and a lot of people left.
Right, a lot of people quit the royal palace because she was
Palace
such a pain.
Was silent until now. They're just investigating. I think they're just going to do something now.
What do you mean? What can they do? What are you talking about?
They can bring people. People can start talking.
Right.
Of course, from the palace approval. What did she do? Because she.
But what are you talking about? They're not going to like try her for crimes.
No, it's not.
You mean just like leak information to the press?
I don't think people will be silent about.
So you think they're going to put out some kind of
how she actually?
Do you think they're going to put out some kind of statement, or they're going to leak information to the media?
Yeah.
That'll make her look bad. Okay, that's what you're saying. Well, I for one am sick of this story. I just wanted to talk about how ridiculous. We got way more than I thought. I just want to talk about how ridiculous it was that Piers Morgan got fired over this. The UK. Okay, they said, let me read some of this, because they said that they got 41,000 complaints at like Ofcom or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, they said they got 41,000 complaints. Here it is. The announcement comes after broadcasting regulator Ofcom launched an investigation after it received more than 41,000 complaints regarding a comment made by the presenter following Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey. In a statement, the broadcaster said, following discussions with ITV, Piers Morgan has decided that now is the time to leave Good Morning Britain. ITV has accepted the decision. No, he didn't. He got fired. The Duchess of Sussex opened up about her suicidal thoughts during her time at the royal family in a deeply personal and explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey. Meghan said that she got to the stage where she just didn't want to be alive anymore. After the clip aired, Morgan said during primetime program, "I'm sorry, I just don't believe a word she says. I wouldn't believe her if she read me a weather report." I love that. I love that he said that, because you know what? He knows her personally. He's followed her career. He doesn't believe her. Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem that he has an opinion? Why is it a problem that he is able to listen to somebody and say that he doesn't believe them? He thinks they're lying. Why does that get you fired? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. That is deeply offensive to me as a human being. And everyone in Britain should be ashamed. 41,000 complaints. They got 41,000 complaints from like 6 people. There's just 6 people calling over and over again. Anyway, all right, I'm done with this story. Next story.
Okay, survey finds atheists are more likely to get vaccinated.
Ah, that's very interesting.
Of
Okay,
course
so
they do, because they don't believe in God, and they don't
atheists
think they
are
have
getting
like a
vaccinated.
protection, like a natural. I don't.
Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.